What's happening, Andy? I am Andy here. I'm joined by Paul Birkett from HP. Paul is in the UK. What's happening, Paul? How are you today?
Yeah, I'm very good, Andy. It's been a nice day over here, so it's nice to see a little bit of sunshine here. Doesn't happen very often, so yeah, quite a positive day. How's
So
things over there?
it's not too bad where I am, Western New York. We're a little bit ahead of the pack with the COVID stuff. We kind of got through some of the heavy stuff a little earlier than other areas of the country. So we're kind of okay over here. Other areas I'm a little concerned about. How's the UK doing?
Yeah, we had a tough ride for a long time, and I guess one thing I will say to the listeners in the US, that it does get better. We felt like the rest of Europe was really accelerating out while we were still struggling badly. But over time it's progressed and slowly gotten better to the point now where I think most of the restrictions have been lifted, not all of them, but most of them. For example, I privately rent an office, so I'm in my personal little room, which is quite safe and isolated, and it helps me to work from here rather than being home. We're starting to see restaurants reopening, but again, all with social distancing, everyone wearing masks, and it's different, but it feels good to finally have things beginning to go back to a more normal way.
It is nice to be able to, we have outside seating and even indoor restaurants are starting to reopen. I haven't quite done that myself yet, but outdoor seating and the normalization, as you mentioned, is nice. It's a good feeling, right, after all the time of being locked down and not being able to socialize. So beyond that, with the pandemic, with everything that's going on, it hasn't slowed you guys down. You've had a flurry of announcements this week. I thought we were going to do an interview about something else. You had a major global partner announcement last week, and already that's so old that we've got new news that we need to talk about because yesterday Microsoft finally announced their Cloud Print program, and everyone in the world in the industry, anyone who has been in this industry has glommed onto that and said we've got to take advantage of that. And so you had some significant announcements yesterday, and why don't you tell us a little bit about what you guys announced yesterday?
Yeah, certainly. Well, the first one, I think, which ties nicely to the Universal Print announcement from Microsoft is our Managed Print Cloud services. So the concept here is, cloud is not a single destination. It's not software as a service. It's not infrastructure as a service. It is an architecture which is used by organizations to build the future compute platforms and to set up the security models and the software models which their businesses operate on. We've been working really hard to bring managed print to our clients wherever they are actually in their cloud journey. And this involves a sophisticated set of services and technologies which we leverage at the client to match their own cloud architecture and infrastructure. So it supports a multi-cloud environment, and that means it can be on Amazon, it can be on Microsoft. It supports a multi-modality environment, which means it can be in the public cloud. It can be a hybrid cloud with a mix of public and private services, or it can be completely private to the client, even driven over a virtual private network. So that cloud is completely isolated from the rest of the world for clients that have much higher security requirements. And one of the big announcements yesterday, Andy, was we were pleased to be able to announce that we're working to support Microsoft's Universal Print with Managed Print Cloud services, and we have a number of the different printing services that are integrating right now with the Universal Print platform, and we're looking forward to announcing more about what they are and talking to our customers about how that integration works to build value on the core Microsoft kind of print server in the cloud philosophy which they're bringing to the market.
So for those of you watching, the Mac users out there, it's sort of just exactly what they've been doing for years, which is it just prints. It doesn't matter whether it's as HP or another brand. the software is now going to determine, what features are available. And so kind of about time that Microsoft built this in and really allowed us to all leverage it. And quite frankly, I'm glad, I know companies have done a lot of work on these drivers and yours are actually very good, but just from an end user standpoint, it's got to be easier for customers. So great news, I think, in just simplifying everything for printer users, for scanner users, for other technology users. You did mention security, and so that is back at your Power of Print meeting that last time I saw you earlier this year in California. That was security was still a big threshold for HP, and this. Tell me, how does this fit into the security model? What advantages does this bring to your customers now that you've made these announcements?
Yeah, certainly. Well, one of the challenges when you start looking at moving print to the cloud is how you actually manage and control the endpoints, the printers themselves. Because you'll find, obviously, as you're probably aware, that many printers aren't truly cloud native from a device management perspective, especially as you go backwards. And maybe you've got a 4-year-old printer or a 5-year-old printer that just doesn't really understand how to communicate via the cloud. The beauty of managed print cloud services is it can wrap its arms around those types of devices and still enable management of core settings, security standards. We can implement assessments for the client to help them understand their security vulnerabilities as they begin to move to the cloud and start to use universal print. And then through our security manager platform, we can actually build policies and deploy those policies down to the devices, even though the actual security manager platform is running on either the public, hybrid, or private clouds I was discussing. All of that together gives us a really great way to actually ensure the customer stays secure when they're moving to the cloud.
So it just takes things up another level. And now, help me understand now with companies going remote, companies are now looking at their own, even companies that aren't going remote are coming back to work. A lot of talk about what the office is going to look like now. I think a lot of money is going to be spent on setting things up differently, spreading things out. What opportunity do you think is there for this type of software for, going forward for your resellers, for, just dealers and people in our world in general? What do you think that opportunity looks like?
Yeah, I think it's actually quite exciting because home print for business, for work, has kind of always been on the fringe of an allowed practice. And what I mean by that is it's kind of known it goes on, but it's never really been looked at as being a serious opportunity or a serious threat. Obviously, the pandemic has changed all of that. And therefore, we're talking to a lot of businesses about how they want to include print at home in their managed print services. And that varies dramatically. We get some customers that take the line of, we just want our employees to buy a printer, be able to print to it and claim it back on expenses. And we don't want to manage that printer. We're quite happily managing the PC. And we'll control the PC, so we'll just trust the fact that the printer is being used by the user in a trusted way. And for those types of engagement, the user can go out to retail with HP. They can buy one of our inkjet printers. They can take a subscription to Instant Ink, giving them a regular recurring payment. And that then enables them to simply claim on a regular basis that monthly payment. They've got their printer set up, and the business has a very simple way to mass enable the workforce through the retail channel for printing at home. Going beyond that, when customers say, well, actually, HP, we want something different. We need more control than that. We need the printer connected as a secured printer onto the corporate environment. So it needs to be an extended part of the network. That's when we would leverage the HP Advanced platform and the HP Secure Print platform, and potentially even our flex worker solutions, which enable the business to procure the printer and to enable the user to order toner cartridges and get maintenance through the managed print services contract. So it just becomes an extension of the MPS agreement. The HP Secure Print software also enables a true cloud connection to the printer, so the printer looks like it's still a corporate printer and still reports back as if it were a corporate printer. And that gives the business the secondary choice. They've got two choices. It's a user-enabled self-service model, or it's an IT provisioned managed model. And we can match both of those with the announcements we made today.
Well, with the blend that's going on, I think that's awesome news, both for the resellers and for your retail operations as well. Let's face it, HP is one of those companies, one of the few companies where customers really can get it just about anywhere, pretty much anywhere actually. So great news though. You guys have always been a leader in the software world. We had a ton of announcements yesterday, and you probably had more than most. So congratulations. I'm sure people back at the HP world, HP offices are taking a sigh, a deep breath, and waiting for probably the next big thing. I love the fact that, even though it's a tough world out there, you guys have not slowed down. The announcements have still come, and I applaud you for all the really great stuff that HP has also done during the pandemic, the face masks, the printing. I think you guys were making sanitizer and just, supporting the big print operations out there that are, helping keep businesses running right now, and especially healthcare businesses and some of the other critical businesses out there, trucking and transportation, things like that. So thanks so much for spending some time with me, Paul, and it was really great to see you again. I look forward to next time we can actually really see each other. It probably won't be till 2021, but hopefully it'll be on the earlier side of it than the later. Any last words you want to say to everybody back in the States, any of your colleagues over here?
Yeah, no, just stay safe, everybody. And all of this will end, and when it does, Andy, I'm looking forward to having a beer with you, wherever that may be.
Yes.
And hopefully everybody else out there will be having a beer with their work colleagues and friends as well. So thank you very much, Andy.
Yes. Well, I look forward to seeing you again, and we will chat soon. Take care, Paul. Thank you.
Thanks. Take care. Bye.